beach hater.
I can't. When I said I don't like the beach, Brett was ready to storm out of here.
I love the beach.
Do you love the beach?
Oh, yeah.
I'm a lake guy.
In fact, there's nothing better than being on the beach all day long and not caring. Like, if you get hot, you just jump in the water.
You know what I would prefer?
What?
I would prefer to stay in the air conditioning and watch my 86-inch TV.
All right.
85-inch.
Nice segue.
Myself personally.
You just added another inch to the size.
Yeah, I did. I wish it was 86 inches, but it's only 85. Look, we've got a Samsung TV here for you. This is Brett Hamilton, by the way, who brings us Samsung and so many other electronics here at QVC. Let's spell it out here, because you and I were texting last week. This was supposed to be in ETTWJ, Electronic Tech and Tips with Justin.
That's a lot of letters.
It is a lot of letters, but it's a little easier to say than Electronic Tech and Tips with Justin.
All right.
It was supposed to be in my show on Tuesday, but we sold out.
Yeah.
And I was texting you at that time, and I was like, "Hey, you may not be in the show tomorrow because I don't see anything." And he wasn't.
Nope.
Then we were able to get a little bit more, but we weren't able to get every size.
Yeah, they're not all back.
No, in fact, the only sizes that we have are the 43-inch, the 50-inch, and the 85-inch in the 2025 QLED 4K Smart TV. You get a 2-year warranty with this. This was made new in the beginning of June. About June 10th is when we had it. It is the lowest price that we've had. The price is going up at the end of the day tomorrow. So tomorrow at the end of the day, that is when that price goes up. So you want to be able to take advantage of this right now and bring home the size that you like. Now, in that 43-inch, and JP, correct me if I'm wrong on any of these, because it may have changed from when I looked at this yesterday. I have 14 available. Oh, changed from yesterday. There's 6 available.
6.
That's it. Okay, 43-inch, 6 people can get it. There you go. That's it. In the 50-inch, I have 111. Okay, there's 100. You see these this wasn't on air, by the way. This was just on QVC.
From the time you printed that, yeah.
Exactly. People were just searching for it. The 85-inch, I have 14. That's all that we have that remain there, and that is it. This is the 85-inch.
This is the big one.
Let's talk about big overview here. And let's start with why Samsung, because the only TVs in my house are Samsung, and with good reason.
Yeah, and the same for me. And I think when a product is #1 for a year or two, you take notice. And then when they're #1 for 4 or 5 years, you're like, we're onto something. Samsung has been the #1 global TV brand for 19 years in a row. And as long as I've been at QVC, which is around 17 years, I don't know that I've ever had anything that's been #1 for longer than a year or two, right? It's so competitive. The companies are always coming out with something new. So in the world of TVs, how is it that one company can dominate for almost 20 years? Well, you're looking at it. You're looking at this picture. And by the way, in all fairness, you're looking at this picture through our TV cameras that are going through your cable company that are kind of getting compressed and watered down, and you're watching it on respectfully, the problem, right? If you have an older TV, this won't look as good on TV tonight as it will when you hang this on your wall. And by the way, if you're getting an 85-inch TV, spring for the mount. You get it from us or get it from whoever, and have it put up on the wall. This is a piece of art.
Monifa Days came over our house on Thursday, and her husband Will was there as well. And I explain this. I explain this all the time about the TV that we have in our house, which is 85-inch. But I got the real life version of it again in the reminder on Thursday. Will walked into the house, and the first thing he looks at the TV, and he was like,
"Damn,
Monifa, we need this at our house." And Monifa looked at me and gave me eyes as like, "You need to tell him that that's not going to fit on the wall. Like, I need you to do whatever inner technology." And I was like, well, it might.
Let's talk about that for a second before we get into all the tech and all the other good stuff. For those of you looking at the biggest one we have, which is the 85-inch, and going, my house is not big enough, my room is not big enough, the area that I'm going to watch this in is not big enough. It's a very simple rule. 85 inches means 8.5 feet from here to where you're sitting. If it's a 75-inch, it's 7.5. It's 55, it's 5.5. So it's really not that much room, Justin. I mean, 8.5 feet. I don't know any room that's that small, right? I mean, even in an apartment, I would think that you would have, with a couch back there, enough room.
That's the distance away that this should be. So if you've got 8.5 feet of space
all the way up to the camera here, like 8.5 feet from here, there to there, that's it.
A lot of people think that 85 inches is, we took a tape measure from this corner to that corner.
No, it's diagonal.
It's diagonally, which means it's actually not as long in length as it is diagonally. Diagonally is a little bit longer.
Yeah, you may actually have a harder time finding a wall to fit this rather than the space to go back and forth or between. So look at the wall measure. Don't quote me on this. I'm going to say it's about 80 inches for the large one. And you can look it up online. If I've got an 85-inch TV left to right, what is it? There's no bezel on here. There's no frame on this. I mean, I'd say it's maybe 1/4 of an inch So it's all glass. It's all this quantum dot technology. And let's nerd out for 30 seconds.
Tech.
Here's how this works. You've got the glass, you've got the back, and inside are all these little nanopixels. They're these little tiny dots. And the bigger the dot, or the smaller the dot, regulates the color, or decides what the color is going to be when light flashes through it. What this comes down to is a billion color combinations. And when we throw a term like a billion out there, you're like, come on, man, how's that even possible? Well, you're looking at it right here. We're looking at all these different shades of blue and white, brown, gray. I mean, Justin, when we were growing up and you watch a baseball game on TV, the field was green, but it was the same shade of green everywhere.
All the way through.
Yeah.
You couldn't see the lines that the lawnmower, like you would go
Exactly. You wouldn't see the striping. Yep.
And you realize that there was better like definition to it.
Just like that. Just you see the texture here, you see all the definition. So that's what the Q is in QLED, and Samsung created this quantum dot technology and this processor that's inside even faster than before. I always joke that every time Samsung tells me they're coming out with a new TV, I'm like, well, how is it ever going to be any better? And they're like, just wait until you see it. And then we do, and we go, wait a second, this looks better. How is it possible? Well, don't worry about how it's possible. Try to chew on this for a second. This TV will interpret, as you can see right here, and scan and go, this is what the colors are supposed to look like. Not what the cable company sends you, not the way that it's interpreted by satellite or whatever it might be. When it gets the signal and it comes to your home, it actually upscales the older programming as well. I don't know how many of you have MeTV in your cable area or whatever. Shows nothing but old shows, Emergency and Adam 12 and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's remarkable how on our Samsung TV at home, because Meg and I watch that channel all the time, even shows like MASH, they don't look like they were shot yesterday, but they don't look like they were shot in the 70s either.
Right,
it's just incredible how that picture is so vivid, and those colors and the contrast and the clarity are all so much better than they were before.
I think the testament to this was I just looked at the clock and I realized for the last 4 minutes I just stared at the TV. You actually didn't see my face at all. I literally was like this and just drawn into it. But that's what you want, right?
Yeah.
Like you want the TV that's going to draw you in.
Yep.
Now let's talk about traditional TV shopping. We can go to a store and we see the wall.
Yep.
And there are 50 TVs on it, and you're like, I think that one's better than that one.
Right.
But now that I look at that one, I'm not really sure. You can compare all you want. Here's what we do at QVC. I was actually personally in the room with the executives from Samsung at the Consumer Electronics Show this past year when we were looking at the roadmap of what they had coming out. The technology that was in there was mind-blowing.
Yeah, it is.
And what we're bringing you here today is the latest, the 2025 version of that Q7F QLED. This is a phenomenal TV, and as you research, you're gonna see the price is also phenomenal. I encourage you, go ahead, look at other websites. But don't wait too long, because I know you're gonna come back. Because we have the lowest price that we've ever offered here on this. We have the lowest price that we've had, and the thing is, it goes away at the end of the day tomorrow. So you've got about 24 hours and 30 minutes to make your decision. Now, if you are going for that 43-inch, a handful. I can tell you this, if you wait tomorrow, that's gone. I can confidently tell you that right now.
Because the 43 went the first time, and then they got a few back.
43 was gone.
Yeah, that was the first one to go.
And then we got it back. And even from yesterday, just from QVC.com, almost 10 of them were gone. And so we have a little handful of 43-inch. There's a little bit more to go around in the 50-inch. That's going to be your best bet with just 100 or so to go around there. And that 85-inch, about a dozen. And so you don't want to wait on either of these, because tomorrow at the end of the day is when that price is going to go back up. Now, talk to me about free TV.
Yeah, this is something that most of you would never think comes with the television. And a lot of you go, my cable bill is out of control. I'm spending $300 a month, and I watch a handful of channels. I wish I could get my local news, and then I wish I could get blah, 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 and then I watch
QVC.
Netflix and Who and all that stuff in QVC. Well, guess what? There's 400 plus channels built into this television. All you need to do to get them is connect the TV to the internet. Think of it as having a computer brain inside. That's what a smart TV is. And what happens is they give you, Justin, all these categories on the side here, so you can kind of cruise through here and look for a specific category, or just go to the side here and scroll through, and you'll see that over time, in fact, the first time I showed the free TV, which was about a year ago, I think there was 200 channels. So in about a year's time, they've added 200 more
Doubled it.
free TV channels, and all you have to do to get there, for those of you going, all right, well, show me how you do the magic trick, it's right here. It's called Samsung TV Plus. And the easy way to get to it is just scroll over until you see the little menu here, and then click on to Samsung TV Plus. Something else that many of you will go, all right, well, I'm never going to use that. I thought the same thing until we got our 85-inch, and that is the art feature. This thing is so cool because you can turn your television into a frame and pop a piece of art onto it so that when you're not using it, it has whatever you want it to have. So you go down here, you click onto a piece of artwork, it'll download it, it'll put it up on the screen for you, and then you have free art. Or you can subscribe to what they call their art package. And I don't know why it's not showing up here, but here, try it in art mode. But what it'll do is...
Okay, so it downloads the image.
So it downloads the image, and then it throws it up on the screen, and this can be the screensaver.
It's so cool.
You made the investment, but here's the best part. You don't even have to use the art that comes with it. You pop a thumb drive in the back with your own pictures.
Put your own photos?
Yeah, so you go on vacation with your family or the holidays roll around or whatever, pop the thumb drive in there, and it will go and build a slideshow. You can even add mats and contrast and stuff.
Can we focus on the definition of this, by the way?
I know,
like,
it's just...
especially if you see this, and again, to Brett's
we got
point,
the
like,
lights showing from the grid, but so ignore this part right here.
I mean, it's just amazing what this is able to do. And as you're looking at this and you're thinking of the retail space that this takes up, you know, it is 85 inches if you're going with that one, but now all of a sudden it's an 85-inch piece of artwork that you're able to use and have on display. It becomes an 85-inch TV that I will give you fair warning. I have the 85-inch at my house. I have the 2020 version. You're getting the 2025. There is not a big game that doesn't go by where my brothers don't show up. I mean, they literally invite themselves over. If you're not a people person, 85 inches is not for you because people will come over. I'm giving you the very fair warning on that.
It's true.
If you are a people person, this is the best way to entertain.
Well, and it becomes, you know, it becomes a theater in your home. And we used to say that all the time. It's like, you know, there's so much more to watch now than there ever was before. And movies are available as soon as they leave the theater, sometimes while they're in the theater. But when you're watching them on a smaller TV, truthfully, it's not the same experience. I'm not trying to get you to buy the bigger screen. I'm just saying the advantage to the bigger screen more than anything else is what you're seeing right now. I mean, look at this. This is like looking out a window. And when you hang something as big as a 65, 75, 85, and you don't have to hang them on the wall. By the way, they come with feet, obviously.
And two directions that you can use the feet too.
Yeah, Samsung did something different this time around. We have them spread all the way out, but you can put them somewhere in this neighborhood as well. So if you are worried that you're going to keep it on the stand, but you don't have a huge stand for it or a credenza or whatever you want to call it, they can put them in the middle as well, and they're balanced so that they won't fall over. But again, this is just my opinion. If we're going to get the 75, I don't think we even have the 75.
We don't have 75. Actually, let me give you what we have. We've got the 43-inch. It's an easy pay of $78. 5 remain in that 43-inch. We have the 50-inch with an easy pay of $86 a month. That's your best bit. And then the 85-inch is an easy pay of $298 with less than a dozen that remain there. Your item number is E327867. Now, as you're looking at this and you're considering this, it does go up in price at the end of the day tomorrow. So the price is going to expire. The big deal sold out. We went back and said, what else can you give us? Is there any other inventory anywhere? And they had a little bit. And so the only pieces that we were able to bring in were the 4350 and the 85-inch. Everything else was completely gone. I will tell you that those are the really popular sizes, though, because really, when it comes to TVs, people go on one end of the side, right? They go either to that 43 or 50-inch because that's your guest room, especially when you're considering the free TV that's in here, or it's your bedroom that you put it in. If you are bringing this into your guest room, I want you to consider something. The 43-inch is $78 a month, and for just an additional $8 more a month, you can get the 50-inch. Okay, what don't you need to get in your guest room now? If you don't want your cable package and you don't want to pay for that box that maybe 10, 20 bucks a month to be able to get cable in there, there's 400 free channels. And in the guest room, when my mother-in-law is staying over, when my mom, my dad are staying over, when friends from college are coming over and spending the weekend with us, to have that TV in the guest room, I think is a really nice thing to have, because if they want to wake up on Sunday morning and just relax a little bit and watch TV, there's 400 channels for them to watch. That come included with the TV. If they can't find something to watch within those 400 channels, well, then I'll make them a cup of tea or coffee or something, and we'll talk.
And I'll do you one better. Not only do they get the 400 plus channels, but if within your home you have Netflix, you have Hulu, you have Disney Plus, you have Apple TV, whatever it might be, they're all right here. So all you have to do is sign into that account. I'm going to put them up here so we can see them up top. Netflix, Prime Video, Disney Plus, all those. I loaded the big ones that are on here. You don't have to spend money to use the TV, but unlike old smart TVs that came loaded with a handful of apps, and then if something new gets introduced and you can't get it, there's a store inside here. There's an app store inside here. And when I say store, it just means a place, just like on your phone, a place to go and get, download them. So if you already have Netflix and you're watching on your phone or you're watching on your bedroom TV, to Justin's point, if you're going to get the 43 and use